next section right here is video. So again, I'm going to click on see all, and this time I am presented with a bunch of video clips that have rubber ducks or ducks in them. Let's go back to the all results here, and the last section I see here is my audio. Okay, so Canva also has a bunch of sound effects, audio effects, soundtracks. So here I have a rubber duck sound. Not my style. I have a rubber duck squeak. And if I click on see all, I can see a whole bunch here of songs related to rubber ducks. But most interestingly, we also have a bunch of sound effects like rubber duck squeak going from 1 to 4. So this is pretty cool, especially if you are editing a video. But again, like you will see that most of these sound effects will be part of the Pro subscription. Okay, so I think we've covered everything here from these few tabs. I can navigate between these categories from right here. So right underneath my search box, I can go from all to graphics, photos, videos. I have shapes, which is another category. There is no rubber duck shapes in Canva, frames, mockups, or even charts. So depending on the keyword that you use, you might or might not find ingredient in these categories as well. All right, there is something I want to show you here, and this will be especially useful to Canva free users, because I understand it might be frustrating to see all of this pro stuff and you don't have access to it. You don't want to spend money to upgrade. So there is a way around that. I'm not saying it's equally good as Canva Pro, but it's a way for you to find specific media when you don't find it in the library. So that way is called Magic Media. So Magic Media will be found under the apps right here. So click on the apps button in the left side menu, scroll down until you see more from Canva. Okay, so there's a section right here, and here you should find Magic Media. For now, it is right here. So Magic Media is this AI tool that allows you to generate a graphic or a video from a prompt. So this is kind of like the old way of generating media in Canva. There's a newer one, part of Canva AI, which we'll cover later in the course. But from here, for example, I could ask for an image of 4 rubber ducks in a row, and I could give a color 4 yellow rubber ducks in a row. I can choose my style. So let's make this like a photo. All right, I have prompted 4 rubber ducks in a row. So yeah, sounds good. And you see, even free users, right here I'm using still my Canva free account. I have 50 credits for this month that I can use to generate images, to generate media. Okay, so this is a freemium product in Canva, Magic Media, that will give 50 credits for free users per month and 500 credits to paid users like pro or team users. So this is cool. I'm going to generate this, and it will give me 4 different options, I believe, from my prompt right here. So it's kind of like a ChatGPT image generation or DALL-E. All right, so my images are ready, and you see they're not too bad. Here there's more than 4, there's actually 5, but the other photos are pretty good. Like this one right here with the reflection of the duck. Let's use these photos and see if they can work for me. I'm gonna make that slightly bigger, and I can see this is quite good. It's decent. It's not the best photo of a rubber ducks, but it's close enough to some of the photos I would get here, like something like this. For example, it's very close to something like this that has a watermark. Me, I didn't have to pay for this photo right here. I could use that if I wanted to and not pay for anything. So this is just to show you that thanks to Magic Media, this little app in Canva, you can generate a type of ingredient that cannot find in the Canva library, either because you are on the free plan and you like a photo of a specific type in a specific position or a specific color and you cannot find that as a free user, or no matter if you are a free or paid user but you need something that you cannot find in the library, well, you can try to generate it with AI with Magic Media. Let me come back here for a sec to show you that you can also generate graphics or videos. The video tool is not great. Let me warn you about this. It's not VO3 or it's not Sora or anything like that. So it's pretty basic, but maybe Canva will put more love behind this part of the product at some point and come up with a great video generator. But right now, it's not really worth our time. Right, so this is Magic Media. By all means, give it a try. I think you won't be disappointed. Now, let me give you another pro tip. And here it goes. If you know you are going to spend a good amount of time searching for design ingredients right here under the Elements tab, and you are a little bit tired of having this mixed results right here. Let's say you are only searching for photos or only searching for graphics. Well, there is a way under the apps right here. There's a way for you to search for only what you need to find. For example, if you are only going to search for photos, I would recommend you click on that Photos app or Photos button right here under More from Canva. And what this will do, it will pin the photos, okay, so access to your photos right here in your left menu, right underneath this separator right here. The Magic Media button right here is the app that I used previously. If I hover over it and click, I can exit out or exit that. So same for the photos. I could click on the X and exit that app. Okay, so let me open it back up. So you could pin your photos right here. Let me come back to apps and show you. You could also do the same for charts, for example. Again, apps, you could do the same for videos. Again, you could do the same for your audio, I believe. Right here, audio. So what that does is that it pins these shortcuts right here underneath your little separating line right here on the left menu. So now, if I was to be working here, okay, let's say I'm searching for rubber ducks, but I want only photos. Well, I would click here and I would paste my search terms, rubber ducks, and here under photos, I will only see photos of the rubber duck. And now if I want to switch to videos, I would come here, paste rubber duck, and only see video results. So basically, this is a nice little shortcut, but it avoids me that extra step of going through all and then select the right tab. Okay, so yeah, that's just a neat little tip. Right, something else I want to show you is this button right here. Okay, in the search bar directly, this will work for all types of media. So if I come back to Elements, use graphics, photos, videos, this filter will still be there. So let's use photos. Okay, so let me click here to show you what it is. So this is an extra set of filters I can apply to a search. Okay, to the search I'm running in the editor. So on top of everything, you will see colors. So let's say you are interested in rubber ducks, but you are kind of like unconventional kind of guy or kind of woman, and you want to have, let's say, pink rubber ducks. Okay, so I'm gonna run the search with my filter applied, and you will have results for rubber ducks or related media to rubber ducks. Here I see a lot of non-related media, right? But I did search for rubber duck and I have the pink color selected. Now let's switch back to yellow, and now I see more rubber ducks because rubber ducks are traditionally yellow. Let's see if they have any blue rubber ducks. Yeah, it's rubber ducks with a lot of blue in the photo. It doesn't mean that the duck itself is going to be blue, right? Now let's try again the pink. Pink for some reason gives me a bunch of other stuff, but this is mostly working well, okay? And you can also select a particular color if you want. So if you know the hex code, you can paste it here. Canva will try to get close to that specific code. It's not going to be exactly that code, but yeah, so this is a neat little filter. I'm going to clear that filter of the colors because I want to show you some other filters. The next one is orientation. So this will be the orientation of your photo if you are searching for photo. So you can search for square photos of rubber ducks. You see here, results square, vertical. So we only have vertical photos of rubber ducks or horizontal. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. The next filter is animation. You can search for static or animated. Okay, let's go for animated, but it won't work under photos because photos cannot be animated. So let me click out, go to my graphics and try this filter again. So I'm going to search for animated graphics of rubber ducks. Okay, let's see. There you go. So very little, but I have 6 kind of rubber ducks related. One really is a rubber duck, and animated at the same time is this one right here. So yeah, this is just how the filter works. Okay, static will be non-moving, animated would be anything like stickers or anything really that has movement. Okay, I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to go back to the all results here to show you the last filter, cutouts. So this will work with photos. So what cutout is, let me come here, it's simply showing me photos of rubber duck without a background that are cut out. Okay, so let me delete this walking rubber duck. So I have this ducky right here. I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna get rid of all of these backgrounds, change the color for black. I want to show you that exactly there is no background to this rubber duck. It's a cut out photo. Most of the cut out photos will be pro, okay? So just be aware of that. But yeah, this is probably because you can get rid of the background of any photo using the background remover, which is also a pro feature. So it does make sense that the cutouts that you can find in the photo library are also pro. But yeah, so these are all of your filters. The last thing I want to teach you about these filters is that you can combine several filters. Okay, so if you are searching for cutouts and let's say blue, the color blue, there you go. I have these gloves that are cut out in color blue. It's not a rubber duck, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that you can combine different filters. So let's try something else. Let's try this. Not the color, but I want cutout in square, and now I have cutout square. You see, this is a square cut out of a rubber duck. Okay, so you can combine different filters. And again, if you want to clear them, you see here I have two filters applied. Just click here, clear them all, and you're good to go. All right, there is a last set of things I want to show you that are related to search from right here, from the editor. So let's continue with our rubber duck example. Okay, I'm gonna click on the graphics right here and show you from an image here. So let's say you like this rubber duck. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my page, and you would like to know more about this specific graphic. Okay, so you can always click on that three little dot button right here. So if I click here, I can access some extra information about this specific graphic. So I can see here it's a 3D rubber duck wearing sunglasses. It's by KW Studio. From KW Studio, I can see it's a one design used for €1. See, as a watermark. I can see some keywords that have been attached to this specific graphic, and I can see there's more by clicking on show all keywords. Okay, so this is practical if I want to find more, for example, like childhood, bathroom, bath, ducky, whatever. Let's collapse that. I can star this rubber duck if I want to. See, it will be added to my starred folder. I can add it to a folder, so that is very convenient. I could just tell Canva, okay, I want to add this rubber duck to a specific folder. Okay, that I have created. Well, I could create a new folder directly from here. So this is interesting if you want to start collecting specific elements, design ingredients into a folder. It could be very useful. You could report an element if you find it disturbing or for some reason it's inappropriate. Or sometimes you will see that some elements, some ingredients like this one are part of a collection. Okay, so I think at this point only graphics and photos could be part of a collection, if I'm not mistaken. So here we are lucky enough to have this item being part of a collection. So let's click here and we'll see the entire collection. So collection will always have a set name, starting by set, semicolon, and then the name of that set. So this is how you can kind of recall this set. If you search for this exact keyword the Canva library or the Canva search bar right here, you will find this exact collection. So this is what Canva calls a collection. It's a gathering of different graphics photos that have been made by the same designer, the same Canva creator, that work well together. So collections could be great if you want to create that consistency in your designs. Let's say you are working on a presentation and you want to use a set of graphics that would work well together, that will maintain that consistency across your presentation. Now, the million-dollar question is, how do I find these collections in Canva? Well, it's a little bit tricky. So there is no direct way to search for collections except from scrolling down when you are on your Elements tab right here with nothing in the search box right here. Scroll all the way down. You will see collections, and from here you will see a few collections, not like many. Like you will see a few collections, maybe 50 collections. These tend to rotate as Canva wants to feature them, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. This is not the entirety of the collections in Canva. So the problem is that you cannot really search for collections unless you have this specific code that I mentioned. okay, this code right here, if I have the exact code and I hit enter under my elements, I will definitely get my collection. But how do you get the code if you cannot search for the collections? So this is why a lot of content creators are creating content about Canva element sets. And we do with Team Ronnie, we do share regular content about that. So you can find some of these carousels on our TikTok account or on our Instagram. We also share some of them on LinkedIn. So these are quite useful because we share with you some of the best collections together with their set names that you can copy and paste directly to Canva to try some cool collection of elements or just to discover them. But yeah, I think this is something Canva could definitely improve in the future. How do you search for collections? Also, and this is very important, let me come back to my rubber duck search right here under graphics. Not every single item is part of a collection, not every single graphic. Like if I take this first ducky right here, you see there's no view collection. There's a see more like this button. Definitely this was not on the other duck. So see more like this will kind of like ask Canva to show me more things like this one. So these are magic recommendation, but definitely not a collection. So how do you find these collections? Well, with some experience, you will kind of spot some of the graphics or some of the photos that might be part of a collection because you've seen a few similar, like see this one and this one could be part of a collection. No, but maybe the same designer. Let's see. So we have this one, we have this one. See, it's the same contributor, but it's not organized into a collection. Let me see. Maybe something else like this pixelated duck could be part. Yeah, see, it's part of a collection.
Working with text in Canva is one of my favorite things to do, but I have to admit that finding and matching the right fonts for our next design can be a challenge. There are thousands of different fonts in the Canva library, and I understand that as a beginner designer, this can
It's part of a collection. So if I click here, now you see the entire collection, kind of like a pixelated art collection. And here,
designer, this can be overwhelming. In this lesson, I'm gonna give you some tips so you can find the right fonts in the library and how to best work with them in Canva. Let's start learning how to add a text box to your design. If you paid attention to the previous lessons, you may already remember how to do this. There are two different ways to add a text box. The first one is by opening the text section on the sidebar and then clicking on this purple button that says add a text box. And the second way, which is actually a shortcut, is by pressing the key T on your keyboard. Now let's discover how you can further customize your text boxes in Canva. The first thing is learning how to change the text in any kind of design or any template in Canva. You will do it by selecting any text box and then clicking one more time. From here you can delete the text and then add your own. Now pay attention because every time that you select a text box, you will see a toolbar appearing on top of your design. From here, you'll be able to change the font, size, and then customize even further. Let's start by changing the font. When you click here, you will have access to different fonts, and there are different categories on this window. You will see the document fonts. In this case, we're using exactly the same font on these two text boxes. So we have the font Dreaming Out Loud, and then if I select this one, you will see that is the same font. Now, let's say that I'm going to change this font. I just simply need to select any font in this list. Now, let me close this window and pay attention to this section, document fonts. Closing. Now let's go back to fonts, and you can see the two different fonts that we have on the design. Now let me go back because I actually like this design using exactly the same font, but let's continue discovering this font window. Under document fonts, you will see recommended fonts. This section is actually pretty interesting if you are a beginner at designing. In here, Canva is going to recommend fonts that will make a good pair to the font that you have selected. So in this case, we have Dreaming Out Loud, and then Canva is recommending these fonts. If I were to select this one, I believe it matches well. Maybe I will need to change a couple of settings in here, but I believe this font pairing, it's fine. Below recommended fonts, we have recently used. This is useful if you don't remember the name of a font that you used recently. You will see them listed here. And then if you have a Canva Pro account, you can see here that we have a little crown. If you have a Canva Pro account and you have brand kits set, you will have access to those branded fonts from here. And you can select the brand kit that you want to use on this design. So if I click on this little arrow, I'll be able to select the brand kit that I want to use. And below this section, and also if you have a Canva Pro account, you'll be able to see the uploaded fonts. If you have uploaded fonts to Canva, they will be available from here. If you are using a Canva free account, this menu or this window will be a little bit more simple. You will see document fonts, recommended fonts, recently used, and I believe you won't be seeing these two sections in here. After recently used, you probably will be seeing this section called popular fonts. From here, you can simply scroll down and discover the popular fonts. As you can see, all of these are free because they don't have any crown next to it. But then if you see a font with a crown like this means that this font is premium and it will be available only to Canva paid accounts. Now, what about if you know the name of a font and you want to use it? You're gonna use this search bar, you're gonna type the name of that font in here, and if it is available in the Canva library, it will appear in here. And to apply that font to a text box, simply select the font in this window. You can also search for other kind of keywords instead of the name of a font. So let's say that you want to find a font that is bold, but you don't necessarily know the name of a particular font. So I'm gonna type bold. By typing bold on this search bar, I have already here a list of bold fonts that I can use on my design. Now let me try another keyword. Let's try cute. Yes, I do believe this kind of font look cute. And now let's try elegant. Yeah, what do you think about this search result? I think it is working. I do suggest that you try a couple of keywords more and see the results that Canva is going to provide you in here. And now that we're talking about this search bar, I want to show you this button right here. This is actually a filter, and when you click here, you will have access to this window. From here, you can select a language. This will be useful if your language has different characters than the one that we use in English. So, for example, you want to find fonts that work with the Thai language. You can type Thai, apply, and then you will find the font that has Thai characters and they are still elegant. What about if we change the keyword for cute? You see here that we now have only two fonts, and here you go. We have two different fonts that have this cute aesthetic and that they also have Thai characters in them. Now, let me come back to the main menu to show you one more thing about this filter. Let's say that you are creating a template and you want to use only free fonts so anybody can use your template. You're gonna type here any keyword that you want, or you can use these buttons with keywords to filter your search result. But before, you're going to click on show filters, and in price, you are going to select free. Click apply and then select the keyword that you want to use. So I'm going for serif, and as you keywords, but I do recommend you go and check them out because these are going to help you refine your search results. And also what I like about these keywords is that even though you don't know what these words or these keywords mean, you will see an example of how they may look. So let's go to handwriting and let's see what do we find in here. These are the results. All of these fonts that we have in here have the handwriting style and they have different aesthetics even though all of them are in the same category of handwriting. Now let's go back. Let's go now to corporate. This is what we have in here. And now let's try something completely different. Let's go and use this time retro. And here we have some pretty interesting results. These are indeed retro fonts that are going to add something fun to your design. We have learned a lot about fonts and now it is time to continue customizing our text boxes. We are going to learn how to change the size of our text. Select any of the text boxes and on the toolbar that you see on top, and from here you'll be able to change the font size by using this minus or this plus icon. Another way is by double-clicking on this number and adding the size that you want to use. And another option to change the size of your text is by selecting one of these corners, any of them, and then simply dragging your text box to make it smaller or to make it bigger. And what about if you want to change the color of your text? Select your text box and then select text color. It is this button here, which is going to open the text color menu. From here you have your document colors. If you have a bracket, you will have your branded colors in here, or you also have access to the default colors. From here, select the color that you want to use on your design, or if you want to use a particular color, you can use this plus icon. Play around with the color wheel if you want. You can also enter a hex code, or you can use the color picker. You will see that on this toolbar you have more options to continue customizing your text. I think these are self-explanatory. You see that if you want to apply any of these attributes, simply select any of these options, and if you want to remove them, you will have to select them one more time. I want to stop here because I want to show you the uppercase feature. This one is quite useful if you want to see how your font looks in uppercase and in small case. So at the moment, this text box has uppercase activated. What about if I click here and remove the uppercase? I believe this changes a lot in how a design looks. So this is the before and this is the after. And I'm going to leave it with uppercase because I think this makes the message a little bit stronger. Then we have the alignment. If you want to change your text alignment, simply click on this button and continue clicking until you find the alignment that you prefer on your design. We also have the option to create lists. So you have bullet points and you also have numbers. And to be able to access them, you simply need to click and click one more time if you prefer the numbers, or if you want to remove them, click one more time. We then have spacing. From here, you can increase or decrease the space in between each letter, and you can also adjust the line spacing, so the space in between each line of text. You can see you can make it bigger or smaller. This is also going to change a lot how your design looks. And then we have anchor text. This is going to be super useful if you are going to be designing templates, or maybe if you are going to use a design and then use it to bulk create. So here, let me show you an example. I'm going to copy this text and paste it in here. So I'm going to paste exactly the same text after this. So Control V. As you can see, the text is growing downwards, and that's because we have the anchor set to go downwards. If I change it to anchor middle, let me go back to remove this text, and now go and select anchor middle. If I add more text box, you will see that the text is growing upwards and also downwards. Now let me go back and select the last one. I'm going to select the anchor growing upwards, and now let's add more text. You see that now the text box is going upwards. This might not be very useful if you are just starting to design, but I believe it's good to know that this option is available here. Now let me talk about a new and one of the most most requested features in Canva that is finally here. For this, I have a couple of examples here prepared. This new feature will allow you to create superscripts and subscripts. To create something like this, you are going to select the text box where you want to create your superscript or subscript. Then you're going to select the text that you want to convert into a superscript or subscript. Go to Advanced Formatting, and in here, make sure that you are under General. At the moment, the text position is set to none, but in here, I want to create a subscript. So I'm gonna click here. Now, if you want to create a subscript, follow the same steps, but this time you are going to select this option. Under Advanced Formatting, we have some other options that also were quite requested by Canva users, and it is under typography. These two features are kerning and ligatures. So let me show you here another example that I have prepared for you. But before, and for those of you who don't know what a kerning adjusts the spacing between specific pair of letters to improve readability and visual balance. And this is different from letter spacing, which changes the overall spacing between all letters. So we're gonna take a look at the space in between the W and the A. This space is a little bit bigger than the space that we have in between the other letters. So I'm gonna go to Advanced Formatting, Typography, and in here I'm going to activate kerning. It says refine letter spacing for visual balance. So pay attention to this space, and I'm going to activate kerning. I believe the change in the spacing in between these letters is quite visible in this case. You can see the before and the after, but if you don't notice any change when activating kerning, it may be because the font you are using doesn't support predefined kerning pairs. This feature only works with fonts that have built-in kerning data. You usually see the difference more clearly at larger font sizes and in letter pairs like TO or WA. And now let's talk about ligatures. For this, I have prepared another example here. But what are ligatures? Ligatures are special character combinations where two or more letters are joined into a single glyph. They help enhance both aesthetics and readability of text and are commonly used to prevent awkward spacing or letter collisions. And to apply ligatures, you're going to do the same steps. Select the text box, go to Advanced Formatting, make sure that you go to Typography, and then from here, apply ligatures. And here, keep an eye to the F and the I because they are going to join into a single glyph. So I'm clicking on ligatures, and this is the difference. So you can see before and after. And now let me show you another example of ligature. Here I have another word. Keep an eye to the double F and the I. Going to Advanced Formatting, Typography, and ligatures before and after. And I want to add something here. Like kerning, ligatures will only work with fonts that include this feature. Not all fonts in Canva support ligatures, but many of them do. Some other ways you can style your text. Next to Advanced Formatting, we have transparency. This feature is pretty fun and will allow you to be more creative with your designs because you can add transparency to your text. Next to transparency, we have effects. When you click here, it will open a window. And from here, you can preview all of the effects that you can apply to your text boxes. You can also preview them on your text box by clicking on them. And every time that you click on any of these effects, you will see some settings that will allow you to further customize this effect. So let me show you here. If you want, you can adjust the roundness or the spread, transparency of the background, and even the color. Now let me change this effect for this one. I'm gonna change a little bit the offset, the blur, and another effect that you can add to your text boxes is curve. So you can still keep any of these styles and add a curve shape to your text. So you're gonna click here if you want to add this effect, and then you can adjust the curve by using this slider. I really like this feature because you can play with the shape of your text. You can keep it curved and also keep one of the effects that we see above if we want. If we want to remove the style, we can click none and keep the curve if we want, or we can also remove the curve by clicking on none. Let me end this lesson by giving you some tips on how to combine fonts in Canva. The most important thing, in my opinion, is to find contrast when combining fonts. Contrast is key. I have here a couple of examples on how to sans serif. And if you don't know what a serif font is this kind of font that you see on the screen that features small lines or extensions. These are called serifs. Here's another example. I'm mixing a script font, the one that you see on top, with a sans serif. This combo is giving more casual vibes, but script font with a sans serif, you will automatically get this casual vibe. Here's another example. We have exactly the same combo. We have a script font with a sans serif. The script font, as you can see, is the one above and the sans serif is below. But this combo is giving a more elegant and sophisticated vibe. And what I want you to take from this lesson is that in all of these examples, creating contrast. This font, if you look at it by itself, you may not think that it looks elegant or sophisticated, but once you mix it with this kind of font, then the magic happens. And here's another example of how to find contrast with fonts. This is not an exhaustive list, these are just a couple of examples that you can apply on your designs. Is to combine a display or a fun kind of font with a more neutral one. So here we have Newt. I believe this font has this fun aspect to it, and then we have a neutral or a serif font below. Another example that gives a fun or playful touch to it, but that still looks serious, is to combine a bold font and a light font like the ones that we see on the screen. And there is something else I want to show you about creating these font combinations.
What happened? What's wrong with this? I have better. Why it's down? What's wrong with you? Let's finish.
Canva has over 100 million stock photos in its media library. In this lecture, we are going to discover these photos and see how to best work with them. There are several ways to search for photos in Canva. Let's start by searching from the home page. From the home page, the way you find your photos in Canva is to simply head over the Templates tab right here in the left side menu. So click here, make sure you open the menu, the little hamburger menu, by clicking on this, and then you should see this menu, okay? The templates, photos, graphics, etc. Click on photos. Once you are here, you are in the Canva photo library. If you want a quick or direct access to this library, you can also type in the URL canva.com/photos in your web browser, and you will land on the exact same page. Now let's explore this photo library, okay? Everything, just like in traditional Canva fashion, you will have your search bar. So from here, you can start searching. If you search for a dog and hit enter, you will be presented with a bunch of photos of dogs, even doing their business. So this is the first thing, just entering a keyword in the top search bar and just search for it. You will have some other options right here to refine your search. So puppy, golden river, happy dog, dogs and cats, cute dog, etc., etc. You might find some photo collections, okay? People and dogs, corn dogs, okay? Dog in snow, etc., etc. So these will be collections of photos. And then you will have the lower part of the page, which is the core, the main results for your dog photo search. You see over 1 million dog photos have been found. And this will be, again, like a mix of free photos and pro photos. Okay, so that's when you start from the search bar. Let me clear that, come back to the photo tab, because I want to show you what the feed looks like when you don't use the search bar. So when you don't start from a search, you should see photos and a bunch of different keywords right here. Again, these keywords will be different based on your behavior on the Canva platform, what you've been searching for, etc., etc. You will see also some featured collections. So these could be a great way to discover new content, new photos, and new photographers as well. So we see, for example, here we are being presented by a day in the life of a deli owner. That could be good if you run yourself a deli. Entrepreneur, puppy, work from home, etc., etc. Fitness stuff. We have training day for people with disabilities, mindfulness practices. Again, the little arrow right here allows you to discover more. The good thing about these collections is that they contain a set of photos that have been taken by the same photographer, very often with the same models in the same setting. So this kind of guarantees consistency if you decide to start using these photos in maybe a presentation or maybe a carousel that you're creating, or maybe spread across different Canva designs, but you want something consistent. So for that, the collections are a great way to achieve this consistency. Okay, so check them out on top of the page. Then if you continue scrolling, you will find, again, like the bulk of the photos from the library. You see 86 million photos in this library. So that's a lot of photos for you to choose from. Could be a little bit overwhelming when you don't know really how to search, how to refine your searches. So this is pretty cool. This button right here is new in the Canva photo library. So let's try it out. Okay, so let's have photo of a golden retriever running outside. Okay, so I just wrote a simple prompt. Okay, create an image style. I can choose one of the different styles. Let's go with smart. You can choose the format or the aspect ratio of your photo. Me, I'm good with 16 by 9. And once you're good, you can also use your voice to prompt if you want. And you can add a media, like a reference, if you wish for this photo to be generated. I'm going to keep it simple because there will be an entire section of the Canva Master Course about the new Canva AI features, including generating images. I just want to quickly show you that you can generate a photo if you do not find what you're looking for in the media library. And you see the result is pretty good. We can still see it's AI, but this photo is pretty realistic to me. I mean, only the trained eye would really say that it's an AI photo. Okay, we can upscale that photo for a few crates. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of AI image generation at this stage of the course because this one is really about the photo library and how to get the best out of it. All right, now let me show you quickly how I like to use this photo library. I like to come here, once in a while, maybe a few times a week, and simply scroll because Canva always keeps adding new stuff. And when I scroll, I try to just naturally let my eyes be guided by something that I like. There's something about this picture, this guy, it doesn't look like a stock photo. It looks like the real office of someone that could be someone like me who likes creativity, creating art. So yeah, I was attracted by this photo. When you click on a photo, you will have a bunch of information. Okay, so first the title, male artist in his studio, the resolution, 6,000 by 4,000 pixels, so that's a very high resolution image. The name of the creator, the contributor, in this case, the photographer of this image, base image, okay, still it's clickable, so I could visit their profile, I could open it and come back to it later. So from here, I could use this image in a design. So if I click here, I am able to choose which type of design I want to use this photo into. It could be a document, whiteboard, video, Facebook post, whatever. It's really up to you. Custom size, you can decide which size of document you wish to create. So let's just open this in an Instagram story. There you go. My photo will be opened here. And It's not going to be reframed because Canva wants us to have the flexibility to do so. So here I should probably do something like this if I wanted to have that photo full frame. Okay, great. Let's come back to the information here. We have some information about the license. So for those of you wondering, can I use this photo? Can I use it for commercial purposes? Well, check out this link. You will get your answers from here. You can start this photo. Okay, you will land on your start folder, and then with the three little dots, you can report or add it to a folder. Next, we have some keywords, okay, related to this photo: painter, studio, etc. A color palette extracted from this photo. This is pretty cool. And then some related photos. We can see like the same guy in the same studio. This guy right here, different outfit, but this is the same guy. This is also the same guy. So it seems like this is a photo set. Okay, this is part of a photo set, but I do not have access to the entire collection from here. Okay, I wish I could see the entire collection. Maybe if I go to base image profile, there will be collections. No, there are not collections here. So I cannot immediately see all of the photos from this collection, which is a little bit of a bummer. It would be great to access the collection from here, but there is a workaround this, and I will show it to you later in this lecture. I am now in the editor. This is the Instagram story that I just created with the photo that I like. And I want to show you how you can access the photos from the Canva library, but straight here in the editor where you actually are working with them. So your search should be starting from the Elements tab. Okay, click on the Elements tab, and then from here, if you know what you're searching for, use the search box by all means. But if you don't, you can scroll down until you see the Photos section and click on See All. Okay, once you're here, you will see under Trending pretty much the same thing, the same feed as on the photo library page. So this feed right here. Okay, let's come back to the editor. So you can scroll here and similarly just start adding your photos. Let me create a second page here. So if you are searching for something and you see something you like here, let's see if I can find my creative guy in his studio. Yeah, here it is. So I can click here and add the photo to my design. So that's the first way, via the Elements tab, and then scrolling to the photo section, click on See All. Now there are other ways to search for photos inside the editor. One of them is to use the Photos app. Remember? So click on Apps and then locate the More from Canva section and then go to your photos. And this will pretty much create a shortcut that will be pinned right here on your left side menu, right underneath your separator with your photos. So this is convenient when working with photos. Let me create yet another page and collapse this menu, because now you don't need to go to Elements and scroll to the photo section. You can just come to your photo shortcut that you've pinned right here, and you'll access the same feed from the photo library. Okay, so that's another way. And then there is a last way, a lesser known way to add photos to your design. For this one, you will want to locate that little quick action button. It's like a AI sparkle here. So click on that button and search for a specific photo. For example, a golden red river. Okay, hit enter. And Canva will present to you a bunch of different results, including graphics and photos. Okay, so if you want to see the photos, just click on See All, and then you will have your photos of that golden red river right here. Okay, so I can add it to my page as well, like so. So remember, quick action for those of you with Canva in the English language. You can also use your slash key. You see the shortcut here shown to you. So slash key, and you can like similarly look for a dog, and then you will see from here. You don't need to go very far. You will see from here some graphics, some templates, and photos. And we have our nice dog doing its business right here. I don't know why Canva keeps pushing this photo, but yeah, it's right there if you ever need it. Okay, so you found that one great photo that you love in the library, but how can you find more of the same style? Or even better, how can you find more from the same photographer? Well, keep watching. Let's come back to this photo we liked. Okay, this artist in his studio. My goal, what I'm trying to do here, is to find the collection with these other photos that clearly look like it's a set of photos taken the same day. Like I could clearly see another set like this guy right here, also an artist, also in his studio. But my goal is to find this particular set right here. So the way I would do this, I would probably start this photo. Okay, click here so that it's in my start folder, because from here I cannot really see any collection. I cannot really see many of the keywords that have been used. I can only see the more like this. So I can see this photo right here, info like I do in the Canva editor. So I did one thing. I start the photo right here. Another thing I could do is to come to the creator or the photographer profile and follow that profile, okay? Following the profile. So I will have a way to come back to that creator profile in the future. I know it's going to be under the creators I follow, right? See, now it's a right-based image. Now my next step would be to open a document. Doesn't really matter which one. So I'm taking this one that I already used earlier in the course, and I'm going to add a new page. So the way you can find your photo that you just start is by going to your projects. Okay, click on projects and find your start folder. Make sure that you are under your project or all projects, but not the shared with you. If you happen to use a Canva Teams account, shared with you will be projects that people share with you. So it needs to be either your own projects or all your projects to see the start folder. So let's click here, and now I can see my photo right here. And when I click on the three little dots, I do have this extra information. Okay, so I can see all the keywords, and I can add this to my design as well if I want to. And once you have the photo on your design, you can access via the three little dots the info button. And this info button will show you if the photo is part of a collection. Remember, that's what we're trying to do. So there you go. Now, bingo, we landed on that collection. We have the set name. We can save that for later, or we can simply browse this collection, and we've achieved our goal. We have found the entire set of this guy working in his studio. And this is a great way to acquire photos that you like, go deeper and see if they are part of collection. Now, it might also happen that you are working with a template, like this page right here is a template, and you see in that template some photos that look cool, like these two right here, like the same woman here. This woman is the same as this one. So it does seem that these two photos also belong to a specific set or specific collection. But you don't know what they are, and you don't know how to find these photos. So here, when you click on these two photos, you don't have the little I button, and that is because the photos have been inserted in a frame. You see, this is a frame, and the photo is inserted into that frame. So I'm going to right click and detach the image. And now we can see the frame. I could drop it in either frame. If you move a photo over a frame, it will snap into it unless you use your command key or control key. So now, if I select this photo and I extract it from the frame, three little dots, scroll down. Sometimes people forget to scroll down. I will find my info button. Okay, so click here, and now I have access to this menu, and now I can see the collection. So click here, and there you go. You found the collection. Now have the entire set of photos that will allow you to continue this story or just change the vibe. If you want to go for the yellow vibe, then yeah, you can do so with the same people. Get rid of this first one. Then once it's in your frame, you can double click to reposition the photos as you wish. There you go. So now I changed the mood of this story, but still using the same models, the same photo shoot. So these are two different ways you can, from a specific photo you like, with a little bit of searching and investigating, finding these photo collections that will ensure and maintain consistency in your design projects. It's obviously also possible to upload your own photos in Canva. Actually, you can do this in a couple of different ways. The first way starts on the homepage, where you will find this upload button right here, like right next to the Visual Suite upload or add media button. So click on that button, and then you can decide to upload a single file or individual files, or upload an entire folder. And if you're not sure what kind of files are supported, you can check out these links right here that will tell you exactly what format are supported. Right, so let's try. I'm gonna upload a file. Clicking here, these are my downloads. Let's start by uploading this photo, a photo of me at a Canva Community Labs in Malaga, where I gave a presentation. So let's open this photo, and there you go. So you see the resolution of that photo. Not very high. I think this was a screenshot I took from an actual photo that was taken. So from here, you can access two different buttons. You can use this in a new design. And again, Canva will ask you what kind of design you want to use this photo into, or you can edit the image. And if you do, it will open what Canva calls the modular photo editor. And we will cover everything you can do from this modular photo editor, but also the differences between editing your photos from here, this module, and editing your photos from the editor. So that's the first way, uploading your photo via the upload button right here on the home page. So once you have uploaded your photo into Canva, okay, you can find it under your projects. So click on projects and make sure you are on the photos or the assets you are the owner of, and move over to your images. So my uploaded photo is right here. If I click on it, it will once again open this modular photo editor. From here I can download, I can use that in a design. The second way to upload a photo is via your projects tab right here. So we are already there. So once you are in your projects, and it doesn't matter which tab you are on, okay, let's go back to the first one, or you can add a new piece of content. Okay, so by clicking on that plus add new button, and then from here you can again upload an entire folder. You can start a course, we'll talk about that later in the course. You can upload single files or folders, or you can even connect your Canva account to different cloud solutions like Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox. But here I just want to continue, so I'm going to click on upload file, and this time I'm going to upload the three next photos. Select them, click OK, and you see they will be uploading. So it seems they are uploaded yet. So again, to find them, I need to slide over my images tab right here, and there you go. I have uploaded some additional photos. So this one from the same event, this one from my cooking class. This is Musa, my cooking teacher, and me cooking delicious palak paneer and vindaloo. And then here we have another workshop that I gave not too long ago for Canva, building a brand that makes you look bigger. So this was an event at Tech in Barcelona. So that's your second option, I would say, for uploading your own photos into Canva. And you can see that once they are uploaded, you can start renaming them. Basically, you could do that. So this first one, I had the name. Okay, so let's copy that. Let's come here and paste. Okay, so I could just maybe add 02 here. And this one, I will add 01. So now I have this one, which is Ronnie Stoke at Canva Community Labs Malaga 02. And then the other one would be 01. So that's pretty useful. So you can do that. I recommend you do that, like rename your photo. Let me show you a third way to upload your photo. This way is a little bit better than whatever I am doing here, because it allows you to stay organized from the get-go. So I am here under my projects. Let's go to my folders. So here I have a folder called Fair Trade Photos. So if I click on it, I can see I have a bunch of photos right here related to my non-profit organization, Fair Trade Connection, where these are a bunch of photos of artisans and people we met while traveling with this NGO. So let's say I have some new photos that I want to upload to this particular folder, and I am an organized person, so I want
Another key ingredient that you will constantly use while designing is color. In this lecture, we will dive deep into the basics of working with color, and I do have some useful tips and resources for you. Let's get started. Once you start designing with Canva, you will quickly realize that your best friend when it comes to working with colors is the color panel. For example, if you want to change the background color of any design, simply click on the page. On the toolbar, you will see a gradient button labeled background color. Clicking this opens the color panel. It has several sections, so let me go over them to explain them. First, we have document colors. This section shows you every color used across all pages in your document. Initially, it may be empty, like the one that you are seeing here on the screen. But after adding elements or templates, it populates with colors. So let me give you an example. On this document, I only have one page, and as you can see, it is empty. So that's why we don't have any colors in this section. But what about if I go to the design tab and I add one of these templates? I'm gonna add this one by clicking once, and then what happens if I create a new page, and let's say that this one do not have any color applied. If I go to background color, you will see that now document colors has a color palette. These are the colors present on this template that I just applied on this document. The second section is the brand kit colors. If you have a brand kit, this section displays your brand colors. Like for example here, I have selected this brand kit and these are the color palettes that we have set on this brand. Free accounts have a limited brand kit with up to 3 colors. The next section is photo colors, which will only be available if you have photos on your document. Let me go back to page 1. As you can see, in this design there are no photos, and that's why we don't see the photo colors available in the color panel. But let me go to elements and let's add an image. Let me go to photos, and from here let's add this one to my design. So let me click here, and then let me click on the background of this design. I'm going to click then on background color, and as you can see, we have now the section photo colors. In this section, Canva extracts the 5 dominant colors from each photo and displays them here. This feature helps you maintain consistency by allowing you to use colors